Good morning, everyone. Welcome to your meetings. Did everyone please silence their cell phones for service? And if everyone please turn to our unity statement update. There is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. And the five unity principles. Number one, God is absolute good everywhere present. Number two, God lives in us, therefore we are inherently good. Number three, we are co-creators with God and create our experiences for our lives. 4, prayer
time of going within. Where we gradually move inwards. The experience of our oneness with spirits. We gently close the door. Go apart a while. Take time out. Forgiving to ourselves. In this immense space, in the depths of your very own consciousness, there's an entire world of ideas, beautiful ideas, constantly being generated, refreshed, renewed. These ideas exist in the moment of now, in the present moment, where spirit abides, where your true self abides. Not in the future, where we worry or anxious about what has not yet come from the past. Not in the past, long since gone, but each and every moment of now, right now. So many beautiful gifts that are in this moment. Waiting for the conscious mind, the present mind, to experience them. These gifts are transformative. They are remedial. They bless. They call out for the highest in you, the part of you that is love. How will you show up in each moment is up to you. Just know that each moment is waiting to bless you. It is waiting to reveal something to you. In these present moments, there are many things that you will experience. And these experiences are relative to ideas that you hold about you. Take a moment to contemplate these things. Relax in the loving arms of spirit, knowing that all is well. And no matter what you choose to do, no matter what your ideas are, yourself, no matter what actions you may take, but there is a force that will use everything for your highest good. So be still. Be at peace. Be willing and open to experience the perfection that exists right now. And you are a part of that perfection. You are one with that perfection. And that perfection may not be in the form or ideas that you have of perfection. But rest assured, that perfection still exists right now. Are you willing to experience it? Are you willing to be blessed by it? Are you willing to be transformed by it? Know that there is nothing to do, for this is being, for you simply are. You are one with everything, and you are as you were created to be. A beautiful incarnation of love. As we are enjoying these blissful moments, these peaceful moments, these moments that lead us to contemplate our limitless nature, infinite potential, know that it is this infinite potential, this limitless nature that we will now tap into, as it is my intention to bring forth a new message. A message that needs to be communicated. A message that is waiting to be born. And this message is important that I get my personality out of the way. For it does not serve the whole here. So I invite my brothers and sisters here to join me in that intention, for our mind to always join. In truth, oneness always exists, whether we are aware of it or not. Where two or more gather together, all things become possible. Such is the limitless nature of a divine being. So join me in that intention to experience this new message. I invite you to see the end result. See yourself in this end result. See yourself experiencing new ideas and realizations from whatever you interpret from this message. See those new ideas and realizations taking you in new directions, like a springboard, sending you forth to beautiful places where you experience things that you've never experienced before. Like a wide-eyed child seeing the world anew for the first time. See these things for you. What sort of joy would you be experiencing at this end result, at this moment in time that we are now holding in consciousness? I invite you to experience that joy right now and feel it. Feel it. Feel what that joy feels like. Feel it. What sort of excitement, gratitude would you feel upon learning something new, on experiencing new insights? I invite you to feel that gratitude right now. Feel the feeling of gratitude. You know what gratitude feels like. Feel it. For what we are doing right now is sending instructions to the universe of our desired outcome, our desired experience, what we desire to manifest. This is the key to manifestation. So that we allow Spirit to be the vehicle to work out all the details, all of the ins and outs, all of the hows, all of the words that come from the message and how they are interpreted. We leave all that to Spirit. We release and let go. But we need not know all these things. Hold this intention with me. See yourself being uplifted. You know that it is done. For all intentions are always answered. I invite you to feel that gratitude. Feel that gratitude right here, right now. In the name and after the loving nature of the indwelling Spirit, of principle, of the source. And so it is. Amen. So did everyone receive a handout? Because we are singing a new song today. It's called Use Me. Is there anyone that did not receive a handout? Okay. They should be right outside the door. So someone that can, thank you, Terry. Just going to take a few moments. Make sure everybody gets the handout. We want everybody to feel included. So I'm grateful that you all were able to make it before the rain started. Thank you, Terry. Anybody else need one? I can use one too, Terry. Thank you. Okay, so this is a new song. Would everybody please stand? So the choirs, and I know we don't see any notes on here, but it's really easy to pick up. And the choir is actually going to be leading us, so you'll quickly be able to catch up, and I'll also be singing as well. So. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Okay.
Fabulous.
Okay. All right. Are we ready?
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Start my timer. So, you know, the name of my talk is the collective self. And so I came up with the idea for this talk, having a conversation, this was just last month, with one of my associates, a friend of mine in seminary, but this was at Unity Village. And I had just gone to my ordination, and he had been ordained last year a year ago, when I got licensed as a Unity minister. And so he was telling me about his experience going through his ordination. And so he rode there on his motorcycle. And he visited all sorts of places on his motorcycle on his way to Unity Village. He lived in Canada, and so it was a little trek. So he stopped at all sorts of places, Native American locations. And so he said that, you know, it really saddened him, you know, to see what had become of a great people. And that, you know, by the time he actually made, because he stopped at a couple of Native American places, and, you know, colonialism, it wasn't just in the United States, it was also in Canada or any place where there was settlement. So, you know, Spain, whether it was Spain, whether it was England, whether it was France, Portugal, it was colonialism. And so they pretty much had the same playbook. And so, you know, that's basically what he was talking about. So this is just talking about, you know, the United States here. This is something that's, you know, happened everywhere there was settlement. So it was a real sobering experience for him, is what he was saying. Basically, when he went through his ordination, it didn't have the same. He enjoyed it, he appreciated it, but it also had this. It was sober. It was a sobering moment. You know, it was like, you know, at what cost? You know, like at this cost. You know, it's like, you know, we're enjoying these things, and, you know, we're enjoying, you know, what we have right now, but look how we came upon, you know, how we acquired it, you know, and feeling a certain kind of way about that, you know, during his ordination. And so I said to him what I'm about to say to you, because I reflected on what he said. Because the name of my talk is the collective self, and I reflected on that. I said, you know, I said my collective self, our collective self is going through a dialogue. It is figuring things out. And a lot of times, as it figures things out, it doesn't look pretty. You know, a lot of it's figuring things out as far as figuring out what's important to it. You know, it involves a lot of trial and error, just like the individual. And so we're talking about a collective, making trial and error, making mistakes. And I know there's some of us who, you know, may feel, you know, like mistake isn't the right word, you know, but whatever kind of word you want to use. You know, the bottom line is, you know, when we are resonating on a certain level of consciousness, there are certain ideas that are on that certain level, and that's all we have to go with at the time. So we do the best that we can. The collective self, just like the individual self, does the best that it can. The collective self does the best that it can. You have to understand that the collective self is made up of a bunch of individuals. And if you have individuals, for example, who don't feel good about themselves or for whatever, you know, it's just going to be on a mass scale. You know, and so there's going to be a collective consciousness of not feeling good about yourself, and compensation and shadows and things like that. And this country has many shadows that were brought on by, you know, what happened to the Native Americans, slavery, things like that. And we're dealing with those things. We have to deal with those things. But what can we get from it, though? See, that's what's really important here. What can we take from it, from our collective self? Because, there's some things that we see that are just horrific. There's some things that we've seen in history. It's like, where was our consciousness at this point? Where was our consciousness, for example, with our Jewish brothers and sisters in the Holocaust? Where was our consciousness? For that kind of demonstration. So there's a lot of horrifying things that, the collective self, as it figures things out, as it figures out what's important to it. So it's like, what can we extract from this, though? What can we extract? What lessons can we extract from our collective self, from seeing the collective demonstrations of so many things in history? Well, there's a lot of things that we can extract, but this is going to be a 20-minute talk, not a 2-hour, 3-hour talk. So I can give you a couple of things, and one thing I'll say, is that we can extract, because anytime throughout all these periods in history, and even now, we have things that are going on as far as in Israel and Gaza and Ukraine and Russia, what can we extract is that human beings matter. Human beings matter. So let's break that as a premise. As a premise for this talk. Human beings matter. They matter. And see, when we lose sight of that, we begin to see what we are seeing. We begin to see people, dying in the thousands and thousands and thousands. When we lose sight that human beings matter. That is the most important resource, most valuable resource that we will ever have in this world, that we will ever have in this world. I don't care what we discover. I don't care what sort of new forms of energy or anything like that. Human beings are the greatest resource that we will ever have. And we matter. Mankind is very inventive, has a lot of ideas. Ideas are wonderful. They are wonderful. Ideas are always wonderful. Ideas are how we evolve. They're how we continue to grow and continue to raise our consciousness, if these are ideas that serve. And this is also how, we just continue to just evolve with ideas. But we're not meant to get invested in most ideas. And I'll just say most ideas, okay? Because I'm gonna elaborate on that. Most ideas are not meant to get invested in. See, a divine being has to understand what actually happens when you get invested in an idea. When you get invested in an idea. So let's say, for example, I'm going to give you a scenario. Let's say, for example, you decide that you're going to go green. So you sell your gas guzzler, you get yourself a hybrid, or maybe get an electric car, and you get all sorts of recycling bins and all sorts of things, all sorts of something for something to recycle this, something to recycle that, your aluminum, everything. So you got all that. You're going to go green. You're recycling waste and using it in your garden. You're doing all of these things, right? Okay. Now that's where an idea is serving. Okay, even though the idea is serving. Well, let's just say you have a neighbor that moves in across the street. They don't have all of that. They have and they're not worried about all that either. And so they have everything goes into the trash. Okay? Every single thing goes into the trash. Okay? And they have a gas guzzler and things like that. Okay? So what do you feel at this point? Now, if you are invested in this idea, you probably are triggered right now. And see, what you're not understanding is, When we get invested in ideas, when we want to make camp or pitch our tent and then plant our flag for an idea, this is the idea that I'm going to have, and this is it, okay? Our minds harden with any type of idea. It doesn't matter what the idea is, but our minds begin to harden as we begin to become an extremist of that idea. We are not constantly refreshing our mind with other ideas, other opinions and things like that. We move towards extremism, is what we do. Okay? And so we actually become the idea. So what you don't understand is the divine being actually becomes the idea. As you are invested in it, you become the idea. So then, at that point, anything that comes along that threatens this idea, like somebody who's not recycling, things like that, you become a defender of this system now. You become like a white blood cell that now seeks out to destroy it. It's important to understand how consciousness works. Because if you understand these things, then you learn not to get invested in ideas. And you begin to really realize that it's just an idea. And the number one premise anyway is that human beings matter. So you know something? If it violates this number one premise, it's more important, no matter how great this idea, it's more important that this idea does not drive a wedge between me and my brother or sister. What is more important, the idea or my relationships? And let me just say this, okay? You may think that just because you are right, because you have all sorts of data and things like that, and all sorts of reasons and things like that, when you are sending this animosity to anybody, guess who it's coming back to? It's coming right back to you. Coming right back to you. So this is how we attack ourselves. Our other brother, Rabbi Yeshua, was talking about that. He was like, do not judge. And you won't be judged. Don't condemn, and you won't be condemned. Because you're sending it right back to you. You're sending it right back to you. No matter what it is. You may not like that, but you're sending it right back to you. And we do this all the time. We do this all the time. We have an idea. It's a great idea. It's a great idea. And then hey, I like this, yeah, And then we get invested. Like I said, we pitch our tent, we make camp, we plant our flag. This is the idea. And then we change at that point. Now we just become part of the protection and perseverance of that idea. We're not an independent thinker anymore. We're part of a system now. It's important to understand what you're doing with your consciousness. Because you are truly limitless. There's so many things that you can do. But see, because we don't really know what we're doing, we miscreate a lot. We do a lot of miscreation. In the book of Romans, chapter 12, verses 2 through 5, our brother Paul of Tarsus, was talking to the Romans. He said, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, so that you may be able to discern the will of the Spirit, what is good, what is acceptable, what is perfect. He said, by grace, I'm standing among you and saying to all of you, do not place yourself on pedestals, but have sober judgment in accordance to your faith and spirit. For though we are one body, we have many members, and not all members have the same function. So we who are many are one body in Christ, and each member is one with another. So there's so many aspects of that scripture, And so he's basically saying, there's a different standard that you have to have. And we're not talking about just Christianity here. There's a different standard as divine beings that we have to actually have. A different standard that we have to go by. Because there's repercussions to the way we are handling our mind, to the way we are allowing ourselves to think. There's repercussions that we experience. There's many repercussions that we can experience. Our mind is so powerful, it's like having a power tool. And so when you have this power tool and you don't know what you're doing, you end up hurting yourself. That's how powerful your mind is. You can do anything. You literally can do anything. And maybe you're tired of hearing about that. Maybe you're numb from hearing that. But you're already doing anything right now. Now, that anything that you're doing may be miscreating, maybe incidentally attacking yourself. And don't think that when you're sending this negative energy to yourself that the body is not experiencing anything, okay? The body is going to experience something the more you judge and attack people. And I'm not talking about physical attacking, just attacking people with your thoughts. Because these thoughts are coming right back to you. They're coming right back to you. And so all sorts of things manifest at that point. All sorts of illnesses manifest at that point. So it's important to know where we are and the thoughts that we have about ourselves. It's important that we be mindful of these things. It's important that we be mindful of our thoughts. There's so many parts of the scripture that say be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of your thoughts. Be mindful of your thoughts. And yet we just continue to just think like we're on autopilot. So, in the scripture, where he talks about renewing your mind, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. There are many ways to renew your mind. One of the ways that we renew our minds is through fresh ideas. Through not just getting so invested in one idea that this idea becomes the end-all, be-all of existence. It is just an idea. It's important to have this idea in the right context, the right perspective. It is just an idea. That is all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. And ideas can be more or less important to us based on what we value. And see, when our values are off, because our values, we value certain things in accordance to how we see ourselves. So if we see any lack in ourselves, then we may value certain ideas. And these ideas may actually be a lie. But at the same time, we value that lie because at the same time, it gives us the compensation that we actually need at the time. There's so many things that a divine being must know. Refreshing your mind with ideas, refreshing your mind, renewing your mind with gratitude, with constantly focusing your thoughts on an expansive way as far as things to be grateful for. And usually, we're grateful for the thing, we're grateful for getting our way. We're usually grateful for some of the lower things as far as when things tend to go our way and stuff like that, we're usually grateful for that. But I would invite you to be grateful for everything. Everything. Because you understand that you may not be seeing correctly, And if you're not seeing correctly, you're not seeing certain gifts and blessings that are in the challenges, that are in the uncertainty, that are in certain things that maybe you have right now, at this point in time, you're classifying it as bad or whatever, but it's really not bad. It's really a gift. It's a gift. It's waiting for you to recognize it. It's waiting for you to recognize it for the friend that it is. So, to be grateful for everything is a way to renew the mind. Just to be grateful for everything and mean it, though. You got to mean it. We're not just talking about just saying some words here. How else do we renew the mind? Spirit. Focusing on spirit. Spirit is a higher resonating energy. Spirit is going to meet you where you're at. It's not going to judge you. It's going to love you. And it's actually you. It's actually the part of you that can do all things. It's actually the real you. Not saying that the personality is not the real you too. Okay? But it's the real you. It's the you that you were before your birthday. Okay? Before you begin to construct a mentally constructed image of who you think you are. It's a you that always was. So, be building a relationship with that you is another way that you renew your mind. Because, see, there are going to be so many ideas that you're going to be experiencing. You're not going to be locked on to these lower order ideas that really, to be honest with you, as your consciousness raises up, or rises based on some of these practices as far as meditation and focusing on gratitude and building a relationship with spirit and prayer, you're going to find that Ideas begin to appeal to you less and less. And so if you want to be invested in anything, I would say be invested in that. Be invested in those things. Be invested in the idea of meditation. Be invested in the idea of being grateful for everything. Be invested in prayer. If you want to be invested in something that's not going to do any harm, that's not going to drive a wedge between you and your brother or sister, be invested in that. Be invested in building a relationship with Spirit. You know? Be invested in trusting Spirit. If you want to be invested in some things, be invested in trusting Spirit. To remove the fear. To stop being afraid. To know that you're always safe. That Spirit has you. You know, a lot of times, you know, we get so scared that we manifest things. We manifest things. Okay? But understand that Spirit has you. Spirit has you. If you want to be invested in something, be invested in not putting any ideas over human beings. If you're going to be invested in something, if you really want to plant your flag, if you want to set up camp and plant your flag on something, just set it up with that. About prioritizing human beings over ideas. Because ideas are going to come and go. They're going to come and go. They're always going to come and go. I mean, if you're going to sit up here and say you've had the same ideas throughout your entire life, come on. Gradually, you outgrow certain ideas. You take on new ideas, and you begin to outgrow them. And this is a constant cycle. This is a natural cycle. It's an idea. That's all it is. That's all it is. Whatever the idea is, this talk is not about going into form. This talk is about the content. About what we habitually do over and over and over, where we continue to elevate ideas over our people. That's what this talk is about. And then begin to grow, begin to transcend the ideas. Begin to understand that ideas don't define who you are. Ideas are just like tools, that's it. They're just like perspectives to see and, you know, tools and things like that. But they don't define who you are. You are beyond any idea. And when you begin to free yourself from these ideas, and you begin from any idea, then you begin to have this larger viewpoint of things. You begin to see how ideas will impact consciousness and stuff like that. You begin to see certain things that you're not aware of right now as you begin to transcend ideas and just understand that ideas is just a tool, that's all it is. Then you'll begin to see independently, have an independent way of seeing, an independent way of thinking. You'll be able to see new ways of seeing things. You'll be able to understand that everything has a different way of seeing it. Everything has a different way, and you'll be more open to seeing that different way of seeing it. No matter how great the idea is, you'll be more open to seeing whatever that different way of seeing it is, and you'll be free. Because see, that mind is a free mind. That mind is not bogged down with what it thinks is, like the is all be all of existence. No, that mind is free. So that's what I'm inviting you to do. Because that's what this country, that's not just what this country, that's what this world needs. This world needs people that are immune to the influences and programmings that they have on the internet and the programs that they have on the media. This world needs people that are immune to that. People who can independently think and see and shine their light. That's what this world needs more of. That's what this ministry is attempting to cultivate in you. And I see it happening. I see it happening. So, I got an affirmation for everybody. Everybody repeat after me. I affirm that I am a limitless creator. And I choose to be mindful of that which I create. Next statement. I affirm divine discernment of ideas meant to serve from ideas meant to harm. Brothers and sisters, you are the light of the world. You're going to be that light that your brothers and sisters, that your Father of God intended for you to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Now is the time for tithing and offerings, our abundance blessing. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so. Amen. Today's announcements. Electronic giving is at the front desk of the lobby, and you just scan the QR code. Copies of today's service are also available at the front desk on CD. You will find us on YouTube and Facebook. Next Sunday, July 28th, Reverend Angela Davis will be delivering the Sunday message. Today, immediately following the service, we will have congregational fellowship luncheon in the family room. Everyone is welcome to attend. Is everyone signed up for the newsletter? There are so many things going on that you need the newsletter to find out about, whether it's classes, luncheons, different services throughout the week. So please go to the front desk. The front desk is everything. And ask for a card to sign up. You can also touch the QR reader there and fill out the card digitally. Do we have any new visitors today? None? So, would you mind standing up and telling us your name and how you found Unity?
I'm Fernanda, and I just heard about the work that you do yesterday. I was at the dog park, and someone approached me and talked very lovingly of this place, and so I decided to come see for myself.
Thank you. You're welcome. You can also fill out a welcome visitors card at the front desk. Prayer chaplains are available after the service. Our chaplains will participate with you in prayer and instruct confidentially. And they'll be here at the front of the altar, and we ask that if you have any after-service conversations, that they be held either in the lobby or the family room to give this space for the prayer chaplains. My name is Terry Dashidu. I'm a platform speaker. I also serve on the board of directors for Unity New Orleans. And anyone who is interested in any type of sacred service here, you may contact me after the service. And now for our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever God is, all is well. The Lord watches between me and thee, while we are absent one from the other. And helps us to know your Holy One and Spirit, our Lord Jesus Christ. And now we'll perform a circle or a peace song.